Ready?
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you all to this meeting today from the Special Child Care. And today we have with us Mrs. Sherryann bhuiyan. She's the paraprofessional, the Head Start program, or that is the Early Learning Center, the Clark County School District in Georgia, United States of America. And Mrs. Sherryann, we'd like to welcome you to Special Child Care, uh, this meeting. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I a special ed
Mm-hmm.
paraprofessional, as Brother Saeed mentioned. I work with children between the ages of 2, 3, and 4-year-olds
Mm-hmm.
in the school district. Our center is focused only on you can say a couple of weeks old kids to 4 years old,
So it's
and then they
completely
move on.
early intervention center.
And yes, completely early
Early intervention.
intervention.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. We work with kids based on um, uh, the kids are in our school. They're kids that are not all special needs.
Yeah.
We have sections of the school where it's only for special needs, and then we have collaborative rooms which focus on integrating children with kids who have special needs, kids who don't have special needs, so that they can learn uh, how to get along with other children. Um, and then the early kids, we watch them to see if there's any issues, any problems. But if nothing comes up, then we don't have to worry about anything. But if there is, then we have that ability to intervene in their well-being
So
and
I mean, the
to take care of them.
entire school is a kind of inclusive school. I mean, they have the other part for the children who don't have this kind of issues, something like this.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
It's a collaborative
Mm-hmm.
school
Yeah,
for children.
exactly.
In our district, there's only one in our
In
county
Georgia. Mm-hmm.
so far. No.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that is
In our
yeah, in the Clark County.
city, yeah, in the
Mm-hmm.
Clark County. So
Yeah.
in the U.S., it's based on county
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
school districts.
Okay.
Now, according to the federal government, they take the responsibility
Mm-hmm.
um, to manage and to fund all children of disability. So they have, for example, the ESSA, that means Every Child Succeed Act, and they have the Individual with Disability Act.
Mm-hmm.
Money is spent for students in our district based on per child. But when you have a disabled child, the funding goes up tremendously. Like, for example, it's about 16 over almost $17,000 per child per year. Um, and some states actually, around 7 other states in the country, basically fund special needs students even more than that.
Okay.
So that's the gist of
That's the
it.
funding. Now, this
Now,
funding,
yeah,
this facility is basically for the Americans. I mean, who are, I mean, the American citizen, or for others as well. For example,
others
like.
as well. It does. We don't discriminate
Mhm,
between non-citizens
mhm.
needing this care. He or she is going to get it for sure.
Okay. For example, sometimes we get some questions like that. That, I mean, if somebody from, even from Bangladesh, okay, or India, goes to study
Right.
there on like student
Yeah.
visa, and they have a kid like that, they will get the same
Yeah.
facility for free.
Yes, definitely for
Okay.
free.
Okay. Up to which
Yes.
year? Just only to up to 4 years? I mean, as your early
No,
center.
because as long as the child is admitted into the school system, they are
Mhm.
going to get that care.
Okay. Even on, I mean, even if I mean, that child's parents, anybody of them is a student over there as an international student. Okay.
Yes, they will
Okay,
get
right.
that care for
Okay,
sure.
thank you. And actually, our discussion, basically, we want to know from you, basically about your school activities. I mean, that early intervention center, early learning center. I mean, what do you usually do? I mean, when you get such kind of child with, I mean, you admit such kind of child with special needs, what is the procedure or management protocol you do? I mean, you take him to a classroom. Then after that, what happens there? Yeah,
Hello.
I think
Sorry.
some kind of technical. So okay, is it okay now?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just I'm repeating the question
Yeah.
about the management protocol in your early learning center. I mean, when you
Yeah.
admit a student, admit a child like between 1 to 4 ages, I've said, what is
Mhm.
the management protocol you follow for them? Right, start
Okay,
from the beginning. Yeah.
for from the beginning,
Hmm.
um, we have, of course, the admission process,
Hmm.
and all children go through that admission process.
Yes.
Um, when the child is admitted, we have some children who are already identified as being special needs.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we just follow the protocol from, as the child already as identified.
Yeah.
But we have also the process of, we called here child find, where we observe the child for about a month,
Okay.
um, seeing that, okay, maybe this child needs some sort of help, um, whether the parents have identified the child as being, having autism or anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Right.
um, we would recommend that this child goes to child find. So child find is scheduled with the permission of the parents.
Hmm.
Of course, the parents has to give permission, and the parents have to be present for this child find process. So the child is evaluated for about half a day, going through different, like, hearing test, vision test. They have ability to, like, if they knew common things like their alphabets and
Yeah. Yeah.
their
I mean, all kinds
numbers,
of tests you
and
do of the
if
assess
they
for the
can,
assessment.
all
For
kinds
the
of tests
assessment, right?
for the
Okay. So after
assessment.
assessment
Yes.
is done,
And
then
after assessment is done, we have the evaluation process
okay.
where the child is evaluated. Um, so he is evaluated, and they find out what the problem is. It's not like a doctor saying that, okay, your child have autism, or your child have Down syndrome, or he
Hmm.
has a hearing problem, or he's deaf or blind or whatever. It's not a doctor, but it's is within the school system where they are evaluating this child to see
Hmm.
how they can help him best.
Okay.
So that evaluation takes place after about a month of the first child find process.
Hmm.
After that, they have a another section where they sorry, Saeed, I have to get
No, no, it's okay.
the
It's okay.
other
Take your
thing.
time. Yeah.
Mhm. Um, so I think I have like a page missing. Just a second.
You have anything to share with us?
Um, yes.
Any like
Um,
any slides or anything?
anyone?
Any slide or anything you need to like share?
I don't have a slide at the moment,
Okay. Okay.
but this is just, I'm just trying to tell you the process in which the the
The evaluation.
so Okay, so after the evaluation, we
Mhm.
have an eligibility
Mhm.
process where the child is we try to find or to determine whether the child what the child needs or
Okay.
how we can help him best.
Yeah.
So and that is um, determined only by the teachers and the staff within the system. The parent is not present at the time,
But
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 we
just let me, I mean, just stop here. I'm sorry. That is this committee. If I say that, there's a committee to do this kind of evaluation. Who belong to these committees? I mean, is it the teachers? Okay. I mean, special educator, and who
well
else? I mean, the
when
therapists.
the evaluation is done not with the teacher nor the paraprofessional. This evaluation is done with qualified individuals who are appointed by the state
Mhm.
or the district, so that their job is to only find out what is wrong and how we can help the child. So they will give their recommendation
Okay,
based on
but
their
they are
findings.
specialists in which areas they are specialists, like
Or
in autism, in like
special needs.
special
Or
needs.
there's
Okay.
they're they're only for special needs. So they do everything, whether it's autism, Down syndrome, deafness, emotional behavior, head trauma, vision,
Hmm.
other health issues. So it's across the board for them.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they are the
That's good.
professional and appointed.
Hmm.
Um, Now, when they give their recommendation at the end, they will now send it to us, meaning the teacher and the other committee. You'll have the teacher, the speech therapist, the behavioral specialist,
Hmm.
the
Occupational
you will
therapists,
have
maybe.
occupational therapist, you
Hmm.
will have a member of the board. You will find that the district or district representative will be there also, paraprofessionals. So we'll have a meeting, and
Yeah,
that meeting is called an IEP meeting,
IEP meeting.
where then that meeting and also the parents will be present then,
Hmm.
so that we are able to present to the parents or parent whoever is there to represent the child
Exactly.
and say, okay, we are now ready to help your child in this way.
Right. So
So
this is the
like say
situation.
for
This is the condition of
example,
your child. This is the condition of your child, and this is the intervention
right,
plan. I mean, that is the IEP
yes,
means individual
so
education plan. Like, yeah,
plan
yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
we are then we sit down and we tell the parents, okay, this is what we're going to focus on.
Hmm.
So based on this where the child is, so for example, the child is in a self-contained classroom. Self-contained classroom means we have two paraprofessionals, one teacher, and there's only 8 to 10 students in that class. So the focus is completely on uh, the child's um, ability to absorb everything that's being taught, everything. So they spend a lot of time working, basically almost one-on-one on the child, so that and that's our severe students
Yeah.
um, with all different issues. So now you would find that you have a
Hmm.
medically fragile child. That
Okay.
means who is in a wheelchair,
Hmm.
those can't walk, those can't talk, those can't, who have eating problems, stuff like that. You would have them in one particular classroom. And the person has to be really able to do that. So the paraprofessionals who are hired for that classroom and the teacher is their focus is only medically fragile children. So, but their IEP is being implemented because the child and the children who are in that classroom also has an IEP.
Yeah.
So beside taking care of them, they have to teach them as well.
Okay.
So, and they all have individual plans. So it's almost like a one-on-one um,
Yeah.
help for those children. Now that's for medically fragile, but then we have also um, self-contained classrooms that kids who are walking, talking, doing everything except that they're autistic or they have other issues like like visual issues. They can't see well, but they can do everything else. So, and those are also the same, two paraprofessionals, one teacher, and we have um, for example, um, IEPs the same, they have individual plans. And one of the other things I didn't mention, those are half days. The kids come in for 3 hours and then they go home. They don't stay for the entire
Okay,
school day.
I'm sorry to interrupt here. I mean, just little more clarification for us. So
Mm-hmm.
the classrooms are set based on the level of difficulty or level of disorder, something like this. Then the students are
Right,
put into that. Okay, because I
right,
mean, because
right,
I mean, the objective of this meeting is to learn from you. I mean, how the management
right,
goes on in USA. So naturally, we'll be comparing. It's very normal that we'll be comparing to our schools, what's going on in Bangladesh, India, basically Bangladesh, right? So we see that
right.
there is a 1:1, means there are small places, or only very very small cubicles kind of places where one teacher, one student, I mean one child sit down all day, right?
Right.
Many
Mm-hmm.
schools have this one, other schools have like that. But this idea that the classrooms are classified according to the level of the condition, and students are
Right,
put in there, right? So that
right,
classroom management, I mean, that they follow according to the condition, as you said, like I mean, maybe
right,
severe, maybe mild, maybe yeah,
right.
moderate. Like, okay, yeah, please carry on.
Yeah. So it's I mean, depending on the child's situation and need, she's
Yeah.
placed or he's placed in that environment. Now, and also the classroom is equipped in different ways.
Hmm.
They have special furniture, they have special toilet facilities, there is um, uh, all the equipment that is needed for a child. So, like, say the child needs a hammock to be soothed, then a hammock will be put in. If a child needs a trampoline, that the
Hmm.
trampolines would be put in.
Hmm.
So, in each room, there is equipped for different needs for the
Yeah,
child.
because
And
here the classroom,
even
for
the
example,
toy,
one
yeah,
classroom, like as you said, self-contained, there are 8 or to 10 children. I mean, they have some
mhm.
common issues, but at the same time, this is
Yes,
also true that they are individual, they are different from
yes,
each other, right? So you have to
yes,
maintain two
exactly.
kinds of arrangement over there. One is like common one for all 10. Another is
Right.
individual, as you follow the individual education plan, IEP.
Yes.
It is okay,
Yes.
okay.
So then
Yes.
it is focused per child.
Hmm.
IEP is individual, as you said.
Yeah.
So we have to, and because of that, we have to take data. Let's say, for example, I have a child that is needing um, to be like focus is to help him learn how to use the bathroom, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. Toilet training.
um, that's one of his
Mhm.
IEP goals.
Yeah.
So we have to focus on this. And that's not the only goal he has. He has also another that he has to learn the alphabets, or he has to learn numbers, or he has to be able to be socially able to connect or behave with other children, stuff like that. So we have to be. We take data on this child twice a week per person in the classroom. So, like,
Twice a
for
week.
example, like, yeah. So I am taking data on the same child twice a week. And the teacher
Okay.
is also taking on the same child twice a week.
Mhm.
So you can say 4 days a week, the child is being evaluated, or we test we're testing him to make sure that he is learning something, and we're going through the process of his IEP so that we're working and on the goals that were set. And also another thing I did not mention, when we have IEP meetings, it's usually for annual. So these goals are set for the entire year. So we have a year to work with a child on fulfilling those goals. Now, if the child
Yeah,
did
yeah.
that IEP, so that modification will be made, amendments will be made, and we set new goals. So, for example, the child knows everything that we had put in place. Within 6 months, we'll go back and up that goal so that the child has new goals to work on, and the teacher will follow up on that, and the paraprofessionals.
Okay, just on this point, like I want to focus a little bit on the documentation. As you said, that documentation, I mean, it's taken data twice a week by a paraprofessional and twice a week by,
Teacher.
special educator, teacher, right? Now, this is
Yes.
another very nice way because as two different persons are taking data, you can also like compare,
Right.
right? So,
Exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now, another point about the school timing and days. How many days a week? 5 days
There's
a
a
week.
7 days, 5 days a week.
Okay.
Then for special teacher rooms, they have different schedules. Sometimes they come 3 days a week, sometimes 2 days a week. It depends on the need and the
Okay.
availability.
Okay.
So, but in is they come every day. But half days. Like, so some kids will come in the morning for 3 hours, and then some kids will come in the evening for 3 hours. So this way we accommodate as many kids as possible,
Okay.
so that no one is left behind
Mhm.
in that way.
So this timing also determined by that I mean, the board of evaluation, that board. I mean, they determine that how
Yes.
long they should be like attending the school and right.
Right. Yeah. And then also based on availability,
Mhm.
it's sometimes very hard. Sometimes you have more kids than you have available spaces
Yeah.
to deal with that. So that's for self-contained, but we also have collaborative rooms.
Mhm.
And that is for children who are, let's say, not so severe, but they are needing special education, um, you know, help. So we have 4 to 5 kids that go into a classroom with 17 other children.
Okay. Mhm.
Or they make up the 17 children. So, for example, we have 6 kids who are having to have special needs services,
Mhm.
and we have the rest, which is 11, that are normal kids. The reason we put them into their collaborative rooms is that they have to start learning how to get along with other children. So, beside getting the the help that they need in terms of the IEP goals, we also helping them to socially learn how to behave with other children.
So this,
So
for example, the 17 children room setup, right? Where you said that
yeah,
16 have some special needs, they need specialists,
no,
where
no, no,
11,
the six,
six, yeah, six
six
and
have, yeah,
11 don't need. Now this 11, they are
right.
completely okay, or I mean, they have any kind of disability or disorder.
No, they don't have any disorders.
Now, this is a little question from our perspective, not from your perspective. So you might not understand the question, but I'm just asking. I mean, do you receive any kind of complaint from the parents of those children who don't have any problem that, oh, if my child, mixes up with them, he may also catch up some bad habit or something like this, something like that.
So no, usually the parents are told that
Mhm.
your child is going to be in a collaborative room,
Okay.
and there are going to be some students that have special need
Mhm.
issues. um, is that okay? Some some parents don't even care really.
Yeah, I know, I
They're
know. But some of them,
Yeah,
I mean, do any of them come up with a complaint, or is it the government
no,
decision that it should be like put together, or they have nothing to say? Because we
no,
have seen in
the
our
parents
country,
don't complain.
we have seen in
Yeah,
our
no
country. I mean,
parents.
we have seen in our country that many people don't they have the it's a wrong idea that our children which are non-autism, they might have got some kind of issues when they have socializing with them. So this is a big issue over here, that even the government failed to start or implement that inclusion in these schools,
Yeah,
though they are trying a lot.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
about the activities in the school, if I list the
Mhm.
activities, right, I mean, this basically for the children with special needs. So what they're getting over there, some education, some like behavioral, I mean, issues, some practices, some occupational therapy as per need, right?
Mhm.
A speech therapy.
Right.
What else you have? Do you have like sports kind of activities over there, like swimming pool and outdoor for those children with special needs?
Okay, so our school is equipped with, well, they don't have any swimming facilities,
Hmm.
but we do have an outside playground. We have an outside sand and different activities,
Yeah.
and we have a special room which we call activity room, which is equipped also for all students, that include special needs students. So they have special toys, special blocks, different things that they play with. But yes, they do have outside time and playtime. It's part of the um,
Curriculum.
the day school schedule and part of the curriculum. Yes.
Yeah. So in these
And
activities, like all children, I mean, they participate together. It's not that, that the special time, separate time for special needs children. No, they go together. They play with, I mean, other
yeah, the
children.
collaborative rooms, all children, whether you're special needs child or you're a regular school child, you go out together.
Exactly.
um, for the special like the self-contained classrooms, they do have some restrictions because they would not like the child to get hurt, or something like that, so that
Yeah.
they have a scheduled time to go in to the activity room or outside, or
For the
sometimes
severe ones,
they're
for the severe
for the
ones.
severe
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you would find always, I mean, because of schedule and it's a big school, you might have some time where there is a cross between class coming in, class going out. It's
Mhm.
like that. So it's not a problem, but it happens sometime, but
So the
it's okay.
total school environment is like that. The total school environment like that. That, I mean, the children, because children are children. They of course they will not
Right.
understand like adults, right? So bullying or
Hmm.
other teasing kind of thing might be there. But the point is the school environment is set up in such a way that they have a kind of some empathy for the special needs children, and the
Right.
people, I mean, the other teachers who don't work with them, or the staff
Hmm.
work with them, I mean, they also like, they always try to welcome them and make a like very
Right.
friendly environment for
Right.
special needs. Yeah.
So one of the other things a lot of children would ask, like when they observe a child being different, they're going
Hmm.
to ask. And we are also trained to tell them that how they should behave with them.
Okay.
So eventually the child will understand that, okay, yes, this child has a disability. She needs to be treated in a certain way, and then we coach the children that, okay, you need to talk to them this way, you need to behave with them this way, you need to walk with them this way, you need to share things with them. So eventually by the middle of the school year, all kids know how to behave with all of them. So it's
Yeah.
very integrated, and it's very good, and even other
Excellent.
teachers who are
Hmm.
not working closely
Yeah.
with them
Yes. Yes.
already knows. So, and dealing with these kids also, sometimes it can be very challenging.
Of course.
So teachers, actually we the special needs staff have to be trained in a
Yeah.
certain way. So it's called mindset, where we are trained how what mindset to be in to deal with problems.
Hmm.
So lots of problems will come up. So we are trained to deal with it in a certain way. And that is a protocol that is set by the state. So all teachers, no matter where you are, you have to follow the same protocol. You
Exactly.
have no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so um, so you have to observe what how the child is behaving. You have to be able to de-escalate the child, whether it's a child with special needs or a child regular child.
Hmm.
De-escalate him, where you bring him from a very high to where you are able to talk to him and deal with their problems. Now sometimes you also have to restrain that child,
Yeah.
so you have to be trained how to restrain that child, because
Sure.
uh, there's a way of doing it where you cannot hurt the child. Because
Yeah.
if you tend to restrain a child without any boundaries, you could hurt that child. You may be able to kill that child. You can do anything.
Yeah. Of course.
So we have to follow a certain protocol for that, for dealing with
This
restraint,
training,
de-escalation, and mindset.
this
Yes.
training, I mean, that the educator, I mean, I think, I'm not sure, but I think that who you call as educator, I think they need some academic degrees, I guess, like, right, like bachelor of education in special education, or master degree or something like this to start the year. But what about this paraprofessional or other staff? I mean, how do they get, or everybody, how the training goes on in the school?
Oh, this is a requirement
Okay.
for all of us to be trained. So during the school year, we are, beside being having other training, we
Mhm.
have to go through training every year, and
Okay.
those are usually on the computer. But the mindset training is a physical training that we all have to attend. It's a 2-day training,
Mhm.
and we go to either other schools or it's done at your school, and it's scheduled by the behavioral specialist in your district, and it's managed, actually we are trained by the district, not in the school. So
So it's an ongoing process that the staff
it's an ongoing
go
process.
through. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and for paraprofessional, you don't need any particular like certificate or degree before entering. I mean, just after starting the work, you learn hands-on experience, something like this. I mean,
No, even mindset training is teachers do it, paraprofessionals, everyone, even administrative staff
mm,
have to be trained in
anybody,
this.
yeah, anybody dealing with
Anyone,
such
anyone.
children. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you, for example, administrator has to go through the same training I would have to go through for part of the school system. So
Exactly.
sometimes the administrator and I am doing the
Hmm.
training at the same time.
Hmm. Okay.
So
That's a
it's part of
psychological
the
training.
school.
I mean, yeah, I mean that
It's
carries.
all, it's actually psychological, and it's also restrained, meaning a physical. So we physically have to learn how to do that,
Exactly.
to restrain a child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just one question. I mean, which is a very
Yeah.
vital question, because I mean, the objectives of, I mean, special childcare. One very important objective for special childcare is to empower parents, because we have found
Yeah.
that the things are scattered, and I mean, parents like me, I'm also a parent, so parents like me are kind of at a loss after spending like 5-6 years with the child, right? So as you have like three, as you said, that the school timing depends on the condition of the child, recommended by the board, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
children come to school basically between 6 hours to 3 hours to 6 hours maybe, right? But they're coming five
Yeah.
days a week, so a lot of
Right.
time they spend at home, I mean, with
Right.
parents and family, right? And many parents,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they have only parents, they don't have other family members, small families, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think, I mean, what do you do with that time? Because they are getting only very less time at school. But what about the management
Right.
of the other time? Do you have any, I mean, do you communicate with, with parents and give them suggestion how to do, what to do at home, or do you have any kind of home service, or how do you manage that time? Because people say, or scientists say, that we need to keep them busy as much as possible,
Right.
right?
Right.
So what is the plan, or what is the
So
procedure?
um, we work really closely with our parents
Hmm.
so that they get the help they need, because beside the child having issues, the parents also have a lot of issues in dealing with these children. It's
Exactly.
very difficult for them. So we make it as easy as, you know, um, as possible for
Hmm.
them to deal with them at home. So at school, we have a lot of visuals that we use to help the children. For example, we want the child to sit. We just don't tell them to sit. We have a picture to tell them, okay, this is how you need to do. You need to sit. Sometimes we take pictures of the child sitting so that we can tell them you need to go do this.
Yes.
So what happens is we make a lot of those visuals that we also give to the parents.
Okay.
So we have it all in the classroom. We have it easy available for the classroom. So we give the same amount of things to the parents so that they have it at home.
So the
So
children then
whatever
get the
we are
same
doing
environment, they get the same
at home,
instruction over there, right? Okay.
at home.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, the child takes a nap at school,
Mm-hmm.
then we also take a picture of the child napping at school, and that picture would go home with the parent. And when the child is ready for bedtime at night, the parents will also show them that picture saying, okay, you need to go to bed now,
Mm-hmm.
like you do at school.
Right.
So there's a sort of like a parallel world, so that um, the reinforcement is at school and at home at the same time,
Exactly.
so that and how the child is taught how to eat at home,
Mm-hmm.
it's also followed at sorry, at school, it's also followed at home,
So that
so
so
that
that these children don't understand or don't feel the shift, that I'm just going
yes,
from school to home. I mean, they believe that they
right,
are in the same lifestyle, so they don't have the
right.
difficulty to cope up. Yeah. Exactly.
So one of the problem with children with disability is whether it's autism and other things, they have problems with transition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They
for
don't like it most
example,
of the cases.
they don't like transitions.
Mm-hmm.
So the way we do transition at school, we try to tell the parents, you need to do it like this at home as well, so that if it's so that they learn the consistency
Mm-hmm.
of dealing with situation. Because if it's not done, you would not see progress in the child. You will have progress will take a little bit longer time if there's no coherent or no parallel teaching
Management. Yeah.
of
Mm-hmm. Totally.
management.
Yeah.
So it's the parents is really really involved with the child, and if the parent is not involved, we kind of push it
Yeah.
so that, hey,
So
your
how do you
child needs to
communicate?
be
How do you communicate with them? It's a regular basis, right? What's the way? I mean, you
um
communicate with them through email or
we
you know.
we do it's always that we're having communication with the parents literally on a daily basis, you know, because if there's something happen at the school, the parent needs to know about it. So we always in
So
communication
the
with them.
parents are always updated with the activities in the
Always,
school, right?
always.
But is there any particular, like, parents training program that your school arranges?
Yes, we have different opportunities where the parent can come in and
Hmm.
learn different activities and different things. And sometimes when the parents come in, we would show them also what to do. when they come in every day, we take a chance to tell them, okay, here, this is what you can use at home, this is how you do things, so that they're always informed.
Yeah.
We also have special training for them,
Mhm.
and how to deal with their children, because some parents can also be not aware of how to deal with their kids,
Yeah. True.
not
True.
only with
Yeah.
special needs, but with
Hmm.
other
Issues.
regular normal kids.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Actually, you have a lot of experience, and this is a big, very big, I mean, system. So we can't
Right.
like cover everything in one episode.
Right.
This is one thing. Another thing that we are recording today, I will put it up in our
Mhm.
page after some time. So as our
Mhm.
parents or other people, other professionals, they are not watching this, so they might have some questions. We expect
Yeah.
that they'll put the questions in the comments as they did after your introduction
Mhm.
to our group. So inshallah we will meet again if you give us
Yes.
time, because and
Mhm.
we'll stay. I mean, we hope that you will stay with us, forever with the
Yes.
special
Yes.
child
Yes.
care
Inshallah.
with
Inshallah.
your experience and with your suggestions, your advice. Thank
Yes.
you very much.
Mhm.
I mean, Mr. Sherryann, for your time, for your excellent advice and explaining the complete system of the school in your school,
Right.
basically in that state. And we hope to connect with you later, inshallah, sometime at your convenience.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you so much
Thank
for having me.
thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Thanks.